Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. So Offset uncle and cousin pulled up to Houston and everything like that. They were trying to make some moves and all. But see, the thing was, they wasn't having it. When Jay Prince Jr. and them found out about it, they sent their people right away to go and check them because they wanted them to check in. And so Offset uncle and cousin was like, what that got to do with us? Because they're not rappers. They're like, we're not rappers. We're not part of the people that you usually have check in. So why is it that they're trying to make them check in? He's like, why are y'all messing with us and stuff? And basically the reason is because of the fact that they're still connected to Offset and the Migos, which Jay Prince Jr. and them, it's an unsteady relationship. Like they pretty much got beef because the Takeoff whole incident is still sitting like heavy in their minds. You know, they all know that it was some sort of thing that went wrong that could have been avoided, and that Jay Prince Jr. and his brother and them throwing that party was really like, you know, if they never did that and could have just had a simple night, they wouldn't have never happened, you know, especially with the dice game situation. So they were like, hey, we just coming in on, you know, we got something to do, we got somebody to see. And so they were like, we don't need y'all in the way trying to make us all check in and stuff, because eventually it's going to be a lot more people from Atlanta that rock with Takeoff, that rock with the Migos and Offset and Quavo and all of them, right? And they're going to want to be unbothered if they come to Texas, if they come to Houston. Just like Charleston White said, he's not going to listen to any of them. And so that's the same thing that goes. A lot of people now are like, you know what? They're sick and tired of listening to Jay Prince Jr. And, you know, they don't want to feel like they get bossed around or bullied around by his dad and everything. So they're just going to put, you know, they're going to take the control into their own hands and decide, you know what, we just not going to go and see them or nothing like that. They probably going to try to avoid them or whatever. But the thing is because they know the city of Houston so well, they'll find ways to have the Fifth Ward guys be on the lookout and riding around. That's what really goes on in most of these hoods in the U.S. is that whenever, like, you know, somebody goes there they're not supposed to, the people who tied to the streets and have that connection and everything and have people out there, like, you know, on foot and first line of defense, they'll send those guys out to actually go and look for people. That's how people end up getting found. Just like the Tekashi situation, that's how he got found, was because the street dudes is frontline workers and they're out there on the streets. So when they see the Snapchat posts from the people saying that they're at this location, when they see their car, the fancy cars and everything, they're going to pull up, they're going to check them, they're going to make them check in. If not, they're going to, you know, throw the hands and squabble and everything like that. And so now it's like Offset cousin and uncle are like, don't throw us into the mix of that, because you don't want to take the problem that you have with one person and then try to, you know, put that and carry it on over to the next person and the next person. That all that's going to do is make it to where you have problems with a lot of people. And when those lot of people are all from the same area and they all rock with Takeoff and Offset, it's not going to look good, because now y'all are starting to create ops that are all together and outnumber the Mob Ties crew, the Fifth Ward crew and everything like that. And so you will be surprised. Like, a lot of Atlanta dudes could get up right now and go to Houston and just protest and make it so they could protest and walk around and be like, look, they're not going to make us check in. We're going to go and eat at all the barbecue spots. We're going to go ride Cadillacs in circles on the highway forever. And they're going to put the neon. They'll do all that stuff, too, just to prove a point that Atlanta dudes can come to Houston and not get touched, because it should be some sort of respect to where, okay, after that Takeoff situation, nobody should be trying to be in control of what Atlanta the dudes do in Houston. They should just leave them alone and stop all the old way of them doing things. It's not 2003 anymore, where everybody's wearing 5XL t-shirts from Finish Line and trying to make people check in, and everybody's wearing, you know, the fake jewelry and all that, you know, the watch that has nothing, it can't even tell time. It's just all the Walmart jewels in it. And so what y'all got to understand is it's not 2003 no more. It's 2023. And so the same old ways of them moving around, trying to make people check in, trying to intimidate like they the big group, everybody has that same capability now. You know, the ultimate, whatever, the worst thing that they could do, anybody could do. If they're threatened to basically say, oh yeah, we're gonna drop you, whatever, anybody could do that at the moment. It's 2023. Like, it's not like you can't come with the same firepower as they could. So with that, it's like, why not just make it more about peace and make it more organized to where people can come and not have to check in? Or if they do want to check in, it's more about like, you know, they're going to respect their elders. They're going to respect the people from that area. Maybe they're going to learn some of the history. If they want to donate, they could donate. But all the checking in is doing is basically making it to where they're going to charge them for security. Like the Swifty Blue dude in LA, he's charging $25,000 for you to go and check in with him. So when they first told people to check in, they thought checking in was free. That as long as you go and you say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna be going over here. Tell me where to stay away from. Tell me, you know, the bad parts right now." Like that's what a lot of people thought checking in was. And now in today's age, anybody who does go and check in with like Jay Prince Jr. or them or somebody from LA or somebody from anywhere else, right? Some of the people, they're gonna charge them just for checking in. And say, hey, if you want to be known to be cool and have me vouch for you, you're going to have to pay $25,000. Or if you want my whole security team that knows every part of the city, that knows exactly how to move, is connected with all the other people in the street. So that way, if you was to go in a wrong part of town, you was to bump into somebody you're not supposed to bump into, they'll be right there to say, no, he's cool. He's with us. We're doing this thing right now. And so those are like, there's pros and cons to it and everything like that. But then on the flip side, they could get too greedy. They could get way too greedy and be like, you know what, you got to owe us another 25 bands because we went through a dangerous street. We went through this side and that side. We took you through the hood. They're like, wait, I thought you was just trying to show us, you know, the history of the city and like where y'all grew up. We took you through more dangerous areas. So that means that it's a tax on that. And so at the end of the day, it's just basically like highway robbery. They finding a way to finesse the people because they know they got some money. They know they got some money. They know they want to make it home back safe. And that's the finesse, is that they want to like interject into that. Okay, you somewhere far from home, you want to make it back home. You got some money though. So they're going to take that money in exchange for you making it back home. So you basically, when you go in and you go to check into one of these cities that's infested with a lot of street dudes and a lot of people in the big gang groups or whatever, right? Then what's happening is that you basically held hostage in that city until somebody can come and get you out safely, or unless you are able to find your way and maneuver on your own out. But a lot of times when you maneuver on your own, it's going to happen like PNB Rock, where he was like, you know what? He had too much pride in being in the hood always and saying, you know what? They're never going to make me scared to go to the hood. They're never going to make me not wear my jewelry and go sit down at the most, you know, craziest location and sit down there and wait for something to happen. So like you got to be in between all that. You can't just be trying them and testing them like PNB Rock. And so there's like a gray area to where, okay, now you didn't check in, but you moving, you know, low key and you by yourself and whatnot. So you gotta be extra smooth, head on a swivel and everything like that. Unless you coming in with 10, 20, 30 people deep, which is like Offset and his cousin and all of them, they could all come to Houston 30, 40, 50 people deep, but then it's just going to cause Jay Prince Jr. and them to have the same response. Like when they pulled up to somebody's show with 100 people deep and started beating up the whole club and venue and everything just to show that they have power and that, you know, they wanted to take control of that whole situation. And so that's what they're, you know, power hungry, control hungry and everything like that. And so people are going to definitely bump heads because it's just like a street politics game. You know, everybody want to be able to, the mob wants to have control over every little aspect and all that, including the people who come in, the tourists, the visitors, the other rappers, the other celebrities. But they don't do this to the Will Smith type. They don't do this to all of that. They really do it to the ones who came out of the hoods. And so it's like, are they trying to hold back people that are trying to make it out of the hoods, or that came out of the hoods and they trying to progress it? Now it's like they have to go check in just because they came from the street life or they came from a certain neighborhood or anything like that. And so it's very complicated, but a lot of people, they're like, you know what, they tired of it. And a lot of people are like, it's necessary for our neighborhoods and all that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's only benefiting the group that's forcing all the issues. And if they're not really giving back and doing a lot of positive and trying to change the way of life and save lives and everything like that, then it's like, is it really worth what they doing and all that? Or are they adding to the issue of that's the problem that's ongoing, as deeper lying within, that a lot of people have to open their eyes and look at the facts of. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. I'm going to catch you on the next one.